Welcome to Weingut Gindorf, and welcome to our first tasting, Niederberg-Helden. And this is the Niederberg-Helden vineyard. It is one of the Grand Cru vineyards in Germany, what we call in German große Lage, or great location. So the question is, what makes a great location? Well, when wine professionals talk about a great location, they talk about a French term, terroir. And really what they're talking about is the four basic elements of earth, wind, fire, and water. The earth is made up of this blue Devon slate, and that plays in the wine in two different ways. One, it acts as a natural radiator, so it takes the sun's heat during the day, stores it, and then gives it back to the plants at night. So we get a nice ripening effect wherever we have this blue Devon slate. Secondly, the vines have to fight through this slate to find the nutrients that they need, and that gives the Mosel wines that kind of great minerality, that kind of great mineral backbone that we expect from a great Mosel wine. When we talk about wind, we're talking about the steepness of the vineyard. This is a steep vineyard overlooking the river, and we get a constant breeze through here, which keeps the grapes nice and dry and make sure that we don't have any problems with mildew or other kinds of pests that might infect the grapes and influence the quality of the wine. Healthier grapes, more natural tasting wine. When we talk about fire, we're talking about the sun. This is a south to southwest facing parcel. That means these grapes get the benefit of the sun all day long. We get them nice and ripe, and that contributes to the fruity flavors that come through Mosel wines. That's the second great characteristic that we look for in a Mosel Riesling. And last, we're talking about water. We go back to the name of the vineyard, Niederberg-Helden. That means Niederberg is lower mountain. You see the lower mountain here. And Helden in this case doesn't mean heroes like it does in modern German. It's actually an ancient German word for underground water source. That means that there's an underground water source flowing through this mountain. The fact that these vines are over 30 years old mean that they've got root systems that are 15, 20, 25 meters deep. So these vines have access to a great water source even in the hottest and driest of summers. Those are all the characteristics that we're going to be looking for in the wine when we finally start tasting. So let's get inside and start tasting this wine. So here we are in the tasting room. That means we can get busy tasting the wine. And one of the questions we get all the time is, what should I do during a tasting? What's important to know and what just makes me look self-important? Well, there are four stages that we typically go through, and the first has nothing to do with taste at all. It's about looking at the color of the wine. So you just want to kind of take a look at the color. You can hold it up in front of any neutral background, like a dinner napkin, something like that, and just kind of get a sense of, is the wine light or dark? Is it viscous, or is it a light-bodied wine, light straw, dark golden? What kind of colors are you guys getting off this?
Oh, light golden lemon.
It's a light yellow, light straw.
Yeah, and a kind of a light-bodied wine. So the second thing that I just did is to swirl the wine. And the reason why we swirl the wine like this, or if this is too difficult, it's sometimes easier to put it on the table and just kind of move it around like that, is to get air contact together with the wine. And that helps unlock the aromas of the wine, the bouquet of the wine, after it's been asleep in the bottle for a long time. So you swirl that wine around like so, or like so, and then the next step is to smell the wine, to nose the wine, and there you can stick your nose right down into the glass and get a sense of what the wine's trying to communicate to you from the elements that we looked at in the vineyard. So what kind of things are you getting off the wine?
You get a petrol note.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting some citrus, maybe apple.
Yeah, I think probably green apple, and I get some of that slate characteristic, like I'm reminded as if I'm taking a walk in the woods after it rained, and I kind of get that wet kind of rock smell. So those are some of the things that were coming through that we looked at in the vineyard. And now, finally, it's time to taste. So I did a couple of things there where we all kind of slurp the wine. You can do that, or you can leave that out if you're uncomfortable with that. I also kind of chewed it a little bit just to make sure that the wine covered my tongue and really kind of rolled around in there, so I got a flavor of everything. What are you guys getting off the flavor of the wine?
Get light fruit. Green apple. Petrol still.
Yeah.
I also get the citrus, and what I like about it is that the fruit kind of stays with you for a little while.
It does have a long finish. And one of the things that I get off the wine is it's got a real nice acidity, that kind of racy feeling down the sides of your tongue into the back. Kind of dries out your tongue and makes you want to take that next sip of wine. I get a really long finish right down the center of my tongue there.
Yeah. Lecker.
So that was our first virtual tasting, the 2018 dry Riesling from Niederberg-Helden. I hope you enjoyed that. One more tip from me. A wine tasting with some pretzels or some breadsticks is all well and good. But in order to really experience a wine, you should have it with a meal. And what we've prepared here is a meal of pork prepared in a slow cooker with some star anise, some cinnamon, and some other spices. We'll post the recipe in the section below. The meat really brings out the fruitiness of the wine, and the acidity of the wine really freshens up the meal. Pork and Riesling, that is a classic together. And I hope you try it and enjoy it. Until next time, this is Weingut Gindorf saying thanks for watching.